The Simpsons and their shocking predictions. Are they time travelers or something bigger? If you've spent even a little time on the internet, you've probably heard the conspiracy theory that The Simpsons can predict the future. It sounds insane at first, right? A cartoon show, running since 1989, somehow knows what's coming next in our world. But when you start looking at the evidence episode by episode, prediction after prediction, the line between coincidence and something deeper begins to blur. Some fans even believe that The Simpsons is warning us about events written in the Bible or trying to prepare us for the future. The biggest question is how they do it. Are the writers secretly time travelers? Do they have access to a time machine? Or is this just the most elaborate case of predictive programming ever created? Let's break it all down. Because the story of The Simpsons isn't just about funny yellow characters, it's about technology, world events, and predictions that have come terrifyingly true. The obsession with knowing the future. Human beings have always been fascinated by the idea of knowing what's ahead. From ancient prophecies to modern science, we've tried everything to peek into the future. The concept of a time machine is especially powerful. Imagine traveling forward in time, witnessing events that haven't happened yet, and coming back to warn people. That's why books, movies, and science discussions about time travel never get old. The reason is simple. If we could see the future, we could prevent disasters, avoid dangerous decisions, and even prepare ourselves for massive changes before they happen. But what if I told you that maybe, just maybe, a time machine isn't the only way to see what's coming? In the world of conspiracy theories, there's another source of predictions. And shockingly, it's not a high-tech government project or a mystical oracle, it's a cartoon. At first, that sounds ridiculous. How could a TV show know the future? Yet The Simpsons keeps proving everyone wrong, over and over again. When a cartoon starts beating scientists. Before we get into the scariest predictions, let's start with some of the earlier ones that seem harmless, but are still uncanny. In 1995, long before smartphones existed, The Simpsons showed Lisa talking to her mum through a picture phone, basically FaceTime. This was years before video calling became a normal part of daily life. In the very same episode, they showed a smartwatch, another piece of technology no one had at the time. Today, FaceTime and Apple Watches are so common we barely think about them. But in 1995, this was pure science fiction. Go back 1 year earlier to 1994, and you'll find another strange moment. In an episode where Homer goes undercover, he uses a tiny camera hidden inside his hat to record video. At that time, no such gadget existed. Years later, we would call it a GoPro, the same kind of small, wearable camera that millions use today for sports, travel, and vlogging. These might sound like lucky guesses, but things start getting creepier when the predictions go beyond gadgets. Predictions that shook the world. Take food scandals, for example. In a 1994 episode, a lunch lady secretly adds horse meat into school meals. Almost 20 years later, in 2013, Europe was rocked by a massive scandal when DNA tests revealed that horse meat had been secretly mixed into beef products and sold to unsuspecting consumers. It wasn't just one country, it spread across Europe, with major restaurant chains caught in the scandal. Then there's surveillance. In 2007, The Simpsons movie showed the US government monitoring every citizen's phone calls. At the time, it was a funny exaggeration. But years later, whistleblowers revealed that agencies like the NSA were indeed listening to people's conversations and tracking their data. Anyone who's ever mentioned a product in casual conversation and then seen an ad for it on their phone knows how real this feels. Social media companies deny listening, but how else do those perfectly targeted ads appear? The show even hinted at the US Patriot Act years before the public knew the extent of government surveillance. What seemed like a silly plot in 2007 now feels eerily accurate. When sports and politics fall in line, technology and scandals are one thing, but predicting the outcome of major world events is on another level. In an episode about the World Cup, The Simpsons showed a final match between Germany and Brazil, with Germany winning. Years later, that exact final played out in real life, with Germany taking the trophy. In 2012, they depicted pop star Lady Gaga performing a dramatic halftime show at the Super Bowl, complete with her flying across the stadium. 5 years later, in 2017, Lady Gaga's real Super Bowl performance looked almost identical to what The Simpsons had animated. But the prediction that shocked the world the most was about politics. In a 2000 episode, often misstated to 2002, The Simpsons casually showed Donald Trump as the President of the United States. At the time, it was played as a joke. Trump wasn't even seriously running for office. 16 years later, in 2016, Trump actually became president, and the scene showing him coming down an escalator mirrored the scientific prediction that changes everything. If all of this sounds strange, buckle up, because the wildest prediction isn't about politics or celebrities, it's about science. Back in 1998, an episode showed Homer Simpson scribbling complex equations on a blackboard while working as a scientist. Among those equations was one that closely matches the formula for the Higgs boson, also known as the God particle, the fundamental particle that gives matter its mass. At the time, scientists were still searching for the Higgs boson, using billion-dollar particle accelerators to test theories. They didn't officially confirm its existence until 2012, 14 years after the Simpsons episode aired. Shockingly, the equation Homer wrote was nearly identical to the real scientific equation discovered after decades of research. How could a comedy writer guess something that took the world's smartest physicists and billions of dollars to find? This isn't just a coincidence. For many conspiracy theorists, it's proof that the writers of The Simpsons know something we don't. Two big theories. So what explains all of this? Fans and researchers have proposed two major theories. The first is called predictive programming. This is the idea that powerful people, governments, corporations, or secret societies plant hints about future events in movies, TV shows, and music. The goal is to prepare the public so that when these events actually happen, we're less shocked and more accepting. If The Simpsons is part of this plan, then the show isn't predicting the future, it's revealing plans that are already set in motion. The second theory is even crazier. The writers are from the future. Maybe they're time travelers using the show as a warning system. Maybe they're dropping hints to help us prepare for coming disasters. It sounds like a science fiction movie, but after looking at the evidence, can you really rule it out? Dark predictions for 2024 and beyond. If past predictions weren't enough to worry about, The Simpsons has also teased what might be coming next. In various episodes, they've hinted at robots replacing human workers, World War III, and even more political chaos. Some fans believe these are predictions for the near future, possibly even for 2024. Remember, this is the same show that foresaw Donald Trump's presidency, scientific breakthroughs, and government surveillance years before anyone else. If they're right again, the next few years could bring massive technological shifts and even global conflict. Warning: at first glance, it's easy to dismiss all of this as coincidence. After all, The Simpsons has aired more than 700 episodes. With so many jokes and storylines, some of them were bound to accidentally come true, right? Maybe. But when you stack predictions like the Higgs boson equation, Donald Trump's presidency, and government surveillance next to each other, the odds of all of them being random guesses start to feel impossibly small. Whether you believe in predictive programming, time travel, or just a team of genius writers with uncanny intuition, one thing is certain: The Simpsons has repeatedly shown us glimpses of the future. Maybe they're just really good at observing trends and exaggerating them. Or maybe, just maybe, they know something we don't. Either way, the next time you sit down to watch an episode, pay attention. The next world-changing prediction might already be hiding in plain sight.